I'm gonna demo handling this small mug. Pull the handle off of the mug after I make a plug that'll be the stock the handle is used for. So this is about a pound of clay, and I'm just gonna quickly wedge it, spiral wedge it on an angle, and kind of start to make it into a more conical shape. So I've got a cone, and I'm just gonna slap that out some. And this is really about the profile of the piece that I want to start pulling the handle from. I'm gonna take some water and dip it in there. I'm just gonna start pulling down on this, and I'll be spinning it with one hand and pulling with the other, starting at the bottom and working my way up. And I'm gonna try and make a plug that is completely round and also a continuous diameter of its holding. I feel like when I pull several plugs at a time, and I have a longer piece of stock, it's easier to achieve that continuous diameter. And it's a pretty small mug. I'm going to throw or pull a plug that's about the diameter of my index finger or so. So that's enough to make a couple of handle plugs out of. You can take a plastic bat and just put it on the edge of the table and use that to cut off the plug. And 2 is plenty. That way I've got a second if I need it. And I like to wash the slip off my hands or wipe it off on a towel before I start handling the mug, because I'm particular and I don't want it printed up. So I'm going to take my finger, just add a little water to the top and bottom of the mug where the handle is going to attach. And I don't generally slip and score, I just put the piece right on there. So I need to set it down, and I'm going to take the plug and adjust the end profile a little to elongate it a little, make it more of a football shape than just round. And I'm going to press that pretty firmly into the top edge of the mug, attaching it first at the top and then pushing down the sides, trying to attach it with a round connection and really fillet it flushly down to the piece. So I have it attached on the top. I'll put the piece up, handle straight out, that way it's not being affected much by gravity or weakening that connection. And I'm going to take my index finger and push down the handle, and then turning it at the bottom, fillet that onto the mug itself. Go all the way around until I've got a nice smooth seam. As you can see, it's pretty clean. And then I'm going to go to handle straight down, so it's not being bent by gravity. And I'm just going to start out by trying to address these corners first, changing this into more of a diamond shape or football. And I'm not really pulling here, I'm just moving my fingers up and down, applying pressure to change the profile, not to lengthen the piece yet. And that's getting closer to the profile I want. I'm just going to smooth this out a little at the top and also make sure it's not dry, because I don't want it cracking. Once I'm done working on the profile, I'm going to go right to the bottom and just start flattening that out. And as I flatten it out, I will work up the handle, pushing more with my thumb and bracing more with the palm of my hand. Just working on that profile, and then as I get it flattened out some, I'm going to turn the mug so I can start to see this front profile and work at it with my thumb there. And once I'm to there, I turn the piece all the way the other direction so that I can see the other side of the handle and use my thumb and my index finger to really get at the other edge. And I'm going to switch back to the position I started, which seems the easiest for flattening out. I'm just going to flatten this a little more, extend it some, and then I'm going to turn the piece away from me and straight down, and just let gravity bend that handle down. And then I'm going to bring the handle towards the piece and look at about how much volume I have there. And I actually need to make this a little bit longer, so I'm going to bring it back to hanging straight down, and just give it a couple of pulls that are just for lengthening, really, because the shape is pretty good. And you do that, and then back to turn it away from me, with the hand gravity, pull the handle down, and then I'm going to look at about how much volume I think I want in there, which is about like that. I'm just going to start to secure that at the bottom with my thumb, and then press up, securing it, and then I'm going to turn, I'll press the side there, and the side there, and now once I've really established that connection, just nip that bottom off with my finger so that it's not going to affect the foot. And I'll even use a tool just to scrape across that bottom to make sure there's no excess clay that's going to make it rock. And I just want to reinforce this lower connection a little, push it in a little more, and that's also going to be changing the profile of the shape, the volume inside. And I'm going to turn it up and look at the shape and see what I'd like to have happen with it. And I'd like a little more volume here in the bottom. And I'm always going to be pulling down, so whatever direction I want to pull the handle, I'm going to turn the mug that way. That's a pretty decent little handle. I feel like it plays pretty nicely with this very standard round form. And that is how I attach a handle, pulling it off the mug.